You got to understand that many things that we do as individuals, I mean, talking about us Africans now, we've got to prove them by science. We've got to prove them by science. Look at the problems we have on our continent. We've got to use scientific method to solve our problems. If, for example, look at what is going on our continent right now, like, okay, Africa. We've said it over and over again. Okay, we observed, okay, we're having so much problems on our continent. Say leadership problems. All right, we observed, okay, almost all the African countries, there's just leadership problem on the continent, all over. Okay, apart from the few ones that are not doing well, that took power by force, because then those ones, they saw that they were not doing well. Okay, so majority have leadership problems. Most of all this democracy, government in Africa. Now that's an observation. You observe, okay, we have a leadership problem in Africa. Okay, now we move to the next phase. Question: why do we have leadership problem in Africa? You see, solving our problem scientifically. Why do you have leadership problem? Question. So then we begin to hypothesize. Okay, what could be? Let's do some educational guess. Okay, maybe could it be because of the backdrop of slavery? Okay, that could be a good reason. Okay, could it be because also like we have many greedy politicians? The people that become leaders, they are among us. So the leaders are the reflection of the people. It's not going to be like maybe the people that became leader outside the masses, they are among them. So which means there's high tendency that even if we take that one out and bring another one there, that one will also be corrupt as well. So most likely it's like, yeah, it's a picture of what is going on in the society. Okay, so which means the system has a problem. Okay. So what could be other reasons? Okay, could it be like maybe so there's some external forces that are controlling things, that are that are just engineering things from outside, and then we don't know what they are doing, all those things. Okay, could it be? Okay, now we put down different things that could be the reason. We hypothesized. Okay, after our hypothesis, then we go to experiments. Then we start collecting data, because that is very important. Everything we do must be backed by facts and evidence. So now, okay, with our experiment now, okay, we are going to collect data. Now we began to realize that, okay, with our data that we collected, we now find that, okay, more than 90% of people that got to power actually got to power with the external influence. They got to power with the external influence, with the foreign powers, putting them in power. Okay, so that is experiment that we conducted. Okay, more than 90% of them got to power by external influence. Like, mention any African country, you see external influence, and that is facts. Everything is there. Is there. We can see it. And it's also like, okay, it's well, I mean, in the open, it's well known. So then from my experiment, then we found out, okay, so there are external forces, these colonial demons that are engineering the democracy. They call it democracy, but they are the one engineering the thing, manipulating the system to put whoever they want there, and then be controlling those ones. Okay. Since there's also like a backdrop of the colonization, so they left Africa, but they have not really left Africa. Okay, so with our experiment now, we can now make inference that the leadership problem is because of the colonial agents. So now we can have a specific reason why we have leadership problem in Africa, because of the colonial agents. Because then, if it's not them, most of the time when people choose leaders, They choose who they think should be the leader. It's not as if we don't have people who are capable of running the government. It's not as if we don't have brilliant minds. We don't have people who are very intelligent, who are very smart in solving our problems. It's just that we don't have the system that will allow them to get to the power. You see that? So it's all manipulated and controlled by the external forces, by these colonial demons who want to be controlling the system. You see? So, like a very practical example is, for example, say Nigeria. All right. Now, people have been talking. People in the country have been talking. Okay, in the last election that happened, many people said they voted for Peter Obi, but it's another person that got to power. It was Bola Tinubu that got to power. You see how? Because the system was manipulated. It was rigged. It was obvious to everybody. It was rigged. And then he got to power, and then now he's doing his own thing. You know, he had to fulfill, you know, the promises that he made to the colonial demons. You know, all those ones, and you see how he's running the government. You know, so there's really no what do you call it? There's no hope for the citizens because of bad leadership, because of bad government. You see that? So now the only thing we can do is to now make sure that, okay, we get rid of the cause. And that's why we're doing all these things we're doing. Like, we first of all need to create a massive awareness among our people, because some will now come and say, okay, they think we just woke up one day and just start talking about these things. Like, we must, you know, use science to solve our problems. Like, we're not just, you know, talking about these things. Everything is backed with facts and evidence. You see, it's a well thought ideas and, you know, discussion. That's it is because of these foreign agents that are controlling our system, these colonial demons that are controlling our system. That is why we've not had good leadership in Africa for so many years. You see, and if we want to get rid of that, what do? We attack them. Yes, we attack them not with weapons, not carrying physical weapons. We attack their minds, attack their thoughts, first of all, because we need to fight them spiritually, first of all. I've already been talking about that. You first need to strike them, strike their minds, strike their thoughts, so that they get their hands and their brains off Africa. Anytime they're thinking anything about Africa, because everything they think about Africa is evil, we said we destroy those evil thoughts. We destroy those evil agenda they have for Africa, and then we can face African politicians. We can face those ones and deal with them once and for all. Because anyways, we need revolution on our continent. We need a massive change on our continent, and we cannot wait anymore. We cannot be relying on false hope, on dead hope that cannot do anything. They will be giving you hope, and they have all their own children abroad, but they are giving you hope. Oh, let's hope for better tomorrow, let's hope for better Africa, but their own children are not even on the continent. Their own children are abroad. You see, these people, very greedy and wicked souls. So you're not gonna just sit down and be watching them doing all these things they are doing. So that's why we need to take the bull by the horn. Any problem we have on the continent, we have to solve them by science. We need evidence. We need to back everything with evidence and proofs. And when I say evidence, it's not just like, oh, the fact that they come and give you, like say, oh, they are giving you facts, because you also don't want to depend too much on their statistics, because yes, they have also manipulated that. That's why even when we talk about science, we must not let our science depend on their own science. Science, like I said, it is a principle. It is not dependent on anybody. It is a principle. It's a principle that helps you to discover the truth. It is a principle that helps you to get evidence-based facts. You see, so So we can't even depend on the foreign statistics. So let them give us foreign everything. They of course they're going to manipulate because they don't want you to be liberated anyway. So they're not going to give you they're not going to tell you the truth. So you're finding the truth from somebody who is manipulating you already. You know you cannot get the truth from that person. Exactly. So you have to go find your own truth. So the truth now is not even just like, okay, we're just there, say, okay, but show us the facts, show us the data, show us the. I'm not gonna go by the data that they're gonna give me because, yes, like I said, they are the one manipulating the system. So I can't trust whatever they're giving. Exactly. So, but I can trust first of all, my intuition. I can trust my observational skills. I can trust my own experiments and my own discovery of the truth. I can trust that. Yes, so everything backed by science, because yes, I want to engage the principle, not just whatever somebody has given. Yes, sometimes we get some information outside, but more importantly is to do your own diligent work, to engage your skills, your observational skills, your experimental skills, to get the truth. Very important. Africans, we need this. We need science to solve our problems. We need science, even our local problems, even what we are going through. We need science. Using these scientific methods. Please like and share this video. Share. If you have not subscribed, maybe if you're on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe. If you are not followed on TikTok, please make sure you follow. And very important things we are doing. Please support what we are doing. Support, very important. And I will see you in the next video. We're gonna keep talking about these things. They are very important. We're gonna keep talking about them. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching and bye.